Hello, my powerful and intuitive Scorpio souls, and welcome back to the Mystic Estrogen, your sacred space for cosmic insight, healing truth, and soul transformation. Today's message is not just another tarot whisper, it's an urgent celestial alert you cannot ignore. July 29th is not like any other day, and for you, Scorpio, it carries intense emotional and energetic weight that could erupt if you're unprepared. The stars are aligning in a way that stirs your deepest shadows, awakens unresolved tension, and dares you to choose peace over provocation. This is a day when the universe tests your spiritual growth, not through blessings, but through pressure. Mars, Pluto, and the Moon are forming volatile aspects that specifically challenge Scorpio's emotional balance. And if you're not grounded, this cosmic combination could trigger unnecessary conflicts, emotional outbursts, or deep internal unrest. But here's the truth. You are not here to repeat old patterns. You're here to rise above them. That's why in this video, we're diving deep into what this energy really means, the spiritual reason behind the storm, and how you can transform this day from potential chaos into a gateway of personal power. Scorpio, you don't need to fight, you need to understand, to protect, to observe. This is your opportunity to move in silence, guard your frequency, and walk away with your dignity intact. So if you've been feeling tense, on edge, or sensing something brewing beneath the surface, you're not imagining it. Spirit is guiding you to stay still, not because you're weak, but because your strength lies in knowing when not to engage. Let's explore what tomorrow has in store, how to avoid the traps, and how to turn this volatile moment into a sacred initiation. Stay close, this may be the most important message you hear this week. Scorpio, let's talk about why July 29th is such a critical day for you, because the astrology doesn't lie. On this day, the moon clashes with both Mars and Pluto, your two ruling planets. And that creates a storm of emotional intensity, impulsive energy, and hidden power struggles. Imagine two powerful forces pulling at your inner world while the moon, the planet of emotions, magnifies every subtle trigger. This is a cosmic setup that could easily push you into reactive territory if you're not spiritually centered. Even small misunderstandings could feel like betrayals. Casual comments could sting like deep wounds, and ordinary interactions might carry unexpected emotional charges. Scorpio, you're already sensitive to the undercurrents of energy. And on July 29th, those undercurrents turn into crashing waves. This isn't a coincidence. It's a divine invitation for you to observe your reactions and evolve beyond need to control, defend, or retaliate. This planetary configuration brings the perfect storm for old wounds to rise, especially ones related to trust, abandonment, and emotional safety. That's why this energy is not just intense, it's karmic. The universe is asking, will you repeat the cycle or rise above it? And let's be real, Scorpio, you've come too far to let an emotional trigger pull you back into a version of yourself you've already outgrown. This is not the time to prove a point, win an argument, or expose someone's truth. This is a time to protect your peace like it's sacred. Because it is. You don't need to respond with fire. You don't need to be understood. You only need to understand yourself. On July 29th, your greatest power will come from restraint, from silence, from choosing not to feed the flame. The energy is volatile, yes, but if you listen closely, it's also revealing exactly what no longer belongs in your life. Scorpio, as we move deeper into this energy, it's important to understand that July 29th is not just about external chaos. It's about the inner shadows that are being activated from within. The parts of you that have been quiet for too long may suddenly demand to be heard. This could look like rising jealousy, control, suspicion, emotional withdrawal, or even the urge to cut someone off completely without explanation. These are not random feelings. They are echoes from old wounds, some recent, some buried from years past. You might feel misunderstood, unappreciated, or even attacked when no harm was intended. That's the tricky part about this day. It distorts perception and makes you see threats where there may be none. But don't judge yourself for these emotions, Scorpio. You're not broken. You're simply being shown what's still unhealed. And that is a gift, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Your shadows are not signs of failure. They are survival mechanisms your soul developed during painful times. But the question is, do you still need them today? Or are they keeping you trapped in an outdated version of yourself? This energy is a mirror. It shows you the edges of your own power, so you can decide whether to wield it with wisdom or with fear. The old you might have lashed out, ghosted someone, sought revenge, or closed off completely. But the evolved Scorpio knows that real power doesn't react, it reflects. And that's what Spirit is asking of you now. Pause before you speak. Observe your body's reactions. Breathe through the tension. You're not losing control. You're learning to hold it with grace. And that is the ultimate transformation. You're not here to destroy what hurts. You're here to rise above it, transmute it, and come out on the other side with a heart that's not only stronger, but softer too. Scorpio, on July 29th, there are certain areas of your life where conflict is more likely to erupt, and knowing where those pressure points lie is your first step toward navigating the day with wisdom. The most sensitive zone is your romantic relationships, especially if there have been unresolved emotions brewing beneath the surface. A minor comment from your partner could suddenly feel like a deep betrayal, or you might find yourself pulling away out of fear of being hurt first. Communication breakdowns, silent treatments, or emotional outbursts are all possible if you're not grounded. The second area is family, where generational wounds or old dynamics may resurface unexpectedly. A parent, sibling, or even a child might say something that touches a nerve, and you'll feel that familiar Scorpio sting rising. But pause, breathe. This is not the time to reopen old wounds unless it's for healing. In your career, power struggles could emerge, especially if you feel undervalued, overlooked, or disrespected. If someone tries to control your process or question your integrity, you may be tempted to assert your dominance, but ask yourself, is it worth it? Sometimes silence speaks louder than confrontation. Finally, be mindful of your friendships. Passive-aggressive energy, jealousy, or ghosting may show up. If someone pulls away or triggers you, don't rush to respond. Observe first. Not every battle is yours to fight. In all of these zones, the common thread is emotional sensitivity and a heightened sense of threat, real or perceived. Your intuition will be sharp, but it might also be clouded by emotional distortion. That's why July 29th demands stillness and inner clarity. Think of this day as a test from the universe, not to see if you'll fight, but to see if you'll protect what truly matters: your energy, your growth, and your peace. Conflict may be knocking, but you don't have to open the door. Scorpio, one of the most powerful things you can do on July 29th is recognize the warning signs before conflict erupts. The universe always sends subtle signals before a storm. And if you stay attuned, you'll be able to shift your energy before damage is done. One major red flag is sudden irritability. You might feel unusually snappy, even toward people you love, over things that normally wouldn't bother you. Pay attention if your heart starts racing, your tone gets sharper, or you feel a wave of heat rise in your body. That's your nervous system sounding the alarm. Another sign is a deep sense of being misunderstood or dismissed, even if no one has actually said anything hurtful. If your mind starts spinning stories like, "They don't care about me," or "I can't trust them," pause. These thoughts may be rooted more in old wounds than in present truth. Obsessing over a small issue or replaying someone's words over and over in your head is also a sign that your emotional body is inflamed. Dreams may become more vivid too. You might see symbols like snakes, broken mirrors, or water rising all signs that your subconscious is trying to purge something. The most overlooked warning sign, though, is the desire to withdraw completely, to shut off, disappear, or ghost people you actually care about. This is your protective instinct kicking in. But Scorpio, healing doesn't always come through isolation. It often comes through mindful presence. When you notice these signs, take them as divine whispers, not reasons to panic. Step back, not to escape, but to recalibrate. Ground yourself in stillness. Journal what you're feeling instead of projecting it. You're not weak for feeling triggered. You're wise for recognizing the trigger and choosing a different response. You have the power to change the pattern. And that's what will make July 29th a breakthrough instead of a breakdown. Scorpio, let's go deeper, because what's happening on July 29th isn't just emotional turbulence. It's a spiritual initiation in disguise. The intense energy surrounding this day is not random, it's karmic, sacred, and meant to awaken something dormant inside of you. This conflict-prone energy is actually a mirror, showing you the parts of yourself that are still operating from pain instead of purpose. The astrology on this days, specifically the moon's tension with Mars and Pluto, creates a moment where your inner world collides with your external reality, forcing you to see what still needs healing. But here's the secret. This isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Spirit is saying, it's time to rise above your reactions and remember who you are. You are not here to fight every battle. You are not here to win arguments or prove your worth. You are here to transmute pain into power, to take the energy that once broke you and use it to build your peace. July 29th brings an opportunity for release. If something surfaces, jealousy, anger, insecurity, fear, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a message from your soul that you're ready to let it go. It's an invitation to stop repeating karmic cycles and start choosing a new path of inner mastery. This isn't about pretending to be okay or suppressing how you feel. It's about responding with awareness instead of reacting from wounds. On this day, even if everything around you feels chaotic, know that within you is a calm center, a sacred space that cannot be shaken. That's the true meaning of this energy. The universe is testing your readiness to lead with your higher self, not your hurt self. And when you choose that path, Scorpio, you don't just avoid conflict, you become the embodiment of transformation itself. Scorpio, now that you understand the spiritual weight of July 29th, let's focus on how you can protect your energy and avoid unnecessary conflict. There are 3 cosmic keys that will help you stay aligned and empowered through the intensity of this day. Key 1. Pause before you react. When someone says something triggering, or when your emotions begin to rise, take a sacred pause. Count to 6. Breathe. This simple act interrupts the autopilot reaction and allows your higher self to step forward. Scorpio, your fire is powerful, but fire needs discipline to avoid destruction. This pause is not weakness, it's wisdom. Key 2. Move the energy through you, not toward others. If you feel anger, sadness, or tension building up, channel it into something creative or calming. Write in your journal, dance, scream into a pillow, go for a walk in nature, or take a salt bath. These actions ground you and release pressure safely. Emotions need motion, but you decide the direction. Key 3. Set spiritual boundaries. This doesn't always mean cutting people off. It means not absorbing what's not yours. Visualize yourself in a bubble of white or golden light. Say out loud, I return all energy that is not mine. I reclaim my peace. You can also wear protection crystals like black tourmaline or obsidian, or burn sage or incense to clear stagnant energy. Don't feel guilty for protecting your space. Your peace is sacred. Bonus tip: turn off your phone for a few hours if the energy feels overwhelming. The less access people have to your nervous system, the more grounded you remain. Scorpio, these tools are not just survival mechanisms, they are spiritual technologies. They keep you centered while the world spins. The truth is, you don't have to engage in chaos to prove you've grown. Your silence, your stillness, your self-respect, they all speak louder than any words ever could. Scorpio, instead of reacting to the chaos or getting caught in emotional crossfire on July 29th, this is your opportunity to consciously redirect your energy into something healing, empowering, and soul-nourishing. This day is like a pressure valve, and you get to decide whether it explodes or gently releases. So what should you do instead? First, stay grounded literally. Walk barefoot on the earth. Place your hand on your chest and breathe deeply, or simply sit in silence and observe your thoughts without judgment. Your body is your anchor, and reconnecting to it helps neutralize the storm in your mind. Next, transmute the emotion through creative action. If you're feeling overwhelmed or on the verge of tears or rage, pour it into something sacred. Write poetry, paint, cook with intention, or even just clean your space with affirmations playing in the background. This isn't about distraction. It's about transformation. Scorpio energy is built for alchemy. Another powerful practice for this day is ritual solitude. Take intentional time alone, not to isolate, but to recalibrate. Light a candle, hold a crystal, and journal what you're releasing. Write an unsent letter to someone who triggered you, not to give it to them, but to remove that burden from your spirit. Then rip it up, earn it safely, and say, I set myself free. If emotions run high, disconnect from digital noise. Social media can amplify triggers, and you don't need other people's projections mingling with your own. Instead, listen to calming music, healing frequencies, or a guided meditation. And most importantly, speak kind words to yourself. On this day, your inner voice must be your protector, not your critic. Say, I choose peace. I choose growth. I choose myself. You are not avoiding the world. You are protecting your evolution. What you don't react to today becomes your spiritual power tomorrow. Scorpio, Here's the divine twist in all of this. What feels like a day of conflict, tension, and pressure is actually a portal of transformation. And if you move through it consciously, July 29th could become a turning point in your spiritual evolution. This energy was never sent to break you. It was sent to reveal your mastery. If you can stay grounded, resist the pull of drama, and respond with clarity instead of emotion, you will step into a new level of power that doesn't require force. It radiates from within. This is your chance to prove to the universe that you no longer need to fight to be heard, to be right, or to be in control. You've outgrown the need to match chaotic energy because you've remembered that silence, restraint, and discernment are your real weapons. In fact, this day may illuminate who truly aligns with your energy and who drains it. You may see relationships more clearly, spot manipulations instantly, or realize what you've been tolerating that no longer resonates. That kind of clarity only comes when the fog lifts, and this cosmic storm will do just that. Think of July 29th as your emotional detox. What erupts now was already inside of you. It's just being brought to the surface, so you can finally release it. And when you do, Scorpio, you don't just feel lighter, you become magnetic to higher timelines. You may wake up the next day with a renewed sense of peace, direction, and inner freedom. This is the power of transmutation, turning pain into wisdom, turning chaos into clarity, turning silence into strength. Journal your reflections, light a candle of gratitude, and know that by choosing not to engage in battles that don't serve your growth, you've already won. This is how Scorpios rise quietly, powerfully, and with purpose. Scorpio, as we close this sacred message, I want you to remember one thing above all. You are not born to react, you were born to transform. July 29th is not here to destroy your peace. It's here to show you how unshakable it has become. The emotional intensity, the tension, the triggers, they're not punishments. They are invitations to reclaim your power without saying a word. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to fix others. You don't need to match chaos with more chaos. Your silence, your stillness, your decision to walk away from what no longer honors your soul, that is your victory. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to evolve. And you're doing it beautifully. On this day, choose presence over panic. Choose boundaries over battles. Choose alignment over approval. Let this be the day you step into the version of yourself that knows peace is the highest power. And remember, you are never alone. The universe sees your effort. Your guides surround you with protection. And here at the Mystic Astrology, you are always supported in your healing, your awakening, and your rise. If this message spoke to your soul, leave a Scorpio in the comments so I know you received it. And tell me, what are you protecting tomorrow? Your peace, your purpose, or your power? Until next time, stay grounded, stay sacred, and stay true to the transformation that is already unfolding within you. You are the storm and the calm, and July 29th will remember your strength.